Okay, Built Out here. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining, and I am super excited about this video. In this video, we're going to talk about PMO's alignment to organizational strategy. So as you know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I do both PMO and project management videos. This video today is around PMO leadership, and so I wanted to set that context and make sure we're on the same page because I think it's critically important. Okay, so PMO leadership, right? Got it? Let's go. So I love this topic, right? Because it's hard. It's a complicated PMO topic, and one that PMO managers and leaders will spend a lot of time making sure that they get that alignment. Because if you don't have that alignment, it's going to be a really tough running a successful PMO. I can't stress that enough. If your PMO is not aligned to organizational strategy, it's going to be tough, right? So let's jump into this now. Why is this a problem for PMO leaders? It may seem obvious, but let's jump into it. Number one, when PMO leaders don't align to organizational strategy, it makes it very difficult for long-term sustainment. So what do I mean, right? Often PMOs are created as pet projects for executives for a single organization, and they sit at that single division level, right? When that happens, the PMO doesn't have that exposure to the overarching organizational strategy. They're really just focused on the strategy of one leader, and that's a problem, right? In most cases, you want your PMO to be aligned to the overarching organization, not just for one single division. Does that make sense? Number two, lack of organizational strategy means the PMOs are narrowly focused and could be potentially doing projects that are happening in other parts of the organization. That's a huge issue, causes a waste of valuable company resources, waste of time, and you just never know what Project A and different organizations are going on. That could be a huge problem. So having that organizational alignment, you'll know that there's one Project A going for the better of the company. Does that make sense? Right? Interesting, right? And scary too, because if your PMO is not aligned across the organization and to organizational strategy, it could potentially limit your shelf life. It could limit how long your PMO is going to be around. And that's another scary story for a PMO leader. But why are we here? Why do companies get into such a misalignment with their PMOs, right? Why don't we see that strategic connection? Well, let's look at some reasons why I see that we're in this situation. First, when PMOs are created as pet projects for executives, they don't have that same political pull, right? As when they do across the larger organization. So without that political power and that political oversight, you're not going to see that alignment. So a department level PMO compared to a corporate level PMO has much less chance of that organizational strategy, right? When you're just a PMO for finance, say, right, you're going to have a harder time really getting that organizational view. Number two, the PMO leader has not done what he or she needed to do to get a proper seat at the corporate leadership table. Meaning if the PMO leader doesn't have the political pull or the influence to sit at the overall leadership table, or at least have a voice at that table, they're going to have much more trouble really being exposed to the organizational strategy, and that alignment will almost be possible. So you as a PMO leader, you got to figure out through your leadership team, how do you get a seat at that leadership table so you can understand the strategy and you can even help drive the strategy. I've driven the strategy of the organization from my PMO spot before. You should be able to do that as well. Number three, lack of executive leadership support and buy-in for a corporate level PMO. Again, we're put in these positions when we're working for a single executive, right? And we have that support at the division level. We don't have that support at the overall arching level. That really puts you as a PMO leader in a very difficult spot, and you'll never get that organizational alignment, or it'll be very tough. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Before I get into these possible solutions, let me ask you a question. Is your PMO aligned to the organizational strategy? Or is your PMO just aligned to a single organization, like a finance department, for example, and do you find that you struggle to get that overarching organizational support? Comment below. Let me know where your PMO is at. I'm dying to know, and I'm dying to learn from you on what you're doing, so maybe there's some possible help there. Okay, now we've seen why we're at where we are, and why you as a PMO leader, this is so difficult. What are some possible solutions? First, executives must support the PMO at the corporate level and for any long-term chance of success and any alignment to the organizational strategy. So your senior executives have to understand the importance of your PMO and the programs and projects you're running and how they have to align to their organizational strategy. It starts from the senior leadership level. It really does. PMO managers, number 2, have to be looking for a seat at that leadership table. You must be looking for ways that you can work across your organization to get that organizational strategy. You want to be able to quickly get that seat at that leadership table, provide your opinion, provide your feedback, and really understand what's going on from the organizational level so you can make sure your alignment from your programs and your projects. Number 3, as project requests come in, make sure you have a governance process in place to align them back to the corporate strategy. Scoring is one great example. Your scoring of your projects, right? They have to be aligned to your corporate strategies, right? So project scoring and corporate strategies are all really critical to make sure you're aligned, and then you're going to have a much better chance of that organizational strategy alignment. Does that make sense? What do you guys think? So it's so important for PMO leaders to ensure their programs or projects are aligned to that corporate strategy. I wanted to give you some tips and best practices that I follow to help you be successful as well. Quick reminder, if you like these videos, you like this topic, please like and subscribe to the video. Definitely comment below, hit the little bell button so you're notified. I'm releasing videos all the time. And as a quick reminder, my next video, you got to go check that out. It's called PMO Resource Execution Consistency. It's right here on my channel. I think it's so important. Go watch that now. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you online. Thanks.